All right. Welcome back, fellow TFFL owners, to your almost daily TFFL webcast here during the middle of our coronavirus quarantine. It is, I think it's Wednesday, March 25th, 10:47 p.m. We are starting late tonight. It's time.
Latest ever start for a webcast.
But still getting it done.
Yes, still getting it. Time and dates don't matter anymore. We're getting it done here. I do feel guilty. We have a so West focused webcast tonight. I've got a really good agenda.
Excellent.
And Chief had insisted last time that of course he needed to be here when we talked about his division, but he has backed out at this late hour. We are going to carry on because it is important to bring this element of engagement into the homes of all of our fellow owners at this otherwise challenging time. So we are going to carry on. And the folks carrying on with me tonight are Commissioner Rich.
Good evening, everyone. Glad to be here.
Lizard King. High Command of Jack's Giant Killers, Berto.
Stick, how are you?
Good. And Hank, czar and CEO of the K-Wheels, our IT director. Good
to be here. Happy to be. And I apologize for the late start time. It's completely on me.
As somebody pointed out, we have our webcast host, we have our commissioner, we have our IT director. I think we have a quorum. We're gonna carry on. All right. So first off, quick scheduling reminder: tomorrow, Thursday night, we have poker, online poker, TFFL poker. Berto, I believe you've moved up the start time. It was 9:15 or 9:30. I think the latest email said 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Yes.
I'm hoping we have nearly a full house. I don't know how many commitments you've got already.
I think only 3 emails back.
All right.
But that doesn't include Phil and Rich, who I'm assuming are playing. I'm sure Adam and Kramer will play. We'll have. I'm venturing to say we'll have 2 tables. We'll have greater than 9.
Okay. Good.
Block it out on the calendar right now.
Yep.
There's nothing else on that calendar.
9 p.m. I think you said you were opening the line at 8:45.
Sure.
All right, I'm in.
All right. So as I said, we have a SoCo West focused agenda tonight, but I do have a few friendly warm-up topics here to talk about. The first, just totally random, and there may be nothing else to say, but I noticed for the first time, if you go through the TFFL website and you're looking at the rosters, next to players on the Raiders, LV.
I didn't notice that.
And for a moment, my gut instinct was that was Roman numerals, but of course that is Las Vegas. Just one of those things I'm gonna have to get used to. But they've made that change.
There you go.
Yeah.
There's your random note.
I like it.
Here's my random question that occurred to me as you guys were talking before we came on. So Andrew is how old?
15.
Luke is
9.
Jack?
9.
Do they all play Fortnite?
9.
Sure.
Luke is 9. Yes.
I want to know if these kids are playing against each other.
Well,
they
certainly could be.
They could.
In some of the teams and games, they wouldn't know each other's names unless they knew their usernames per se.
Right.
But the way Fortnite is played, there is, one of the themes where you just get dropped in with a whole bunch of other teams and you're competing.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, if all your kids were playing Fortnite at once and I could tune in, that would be esports I might tune into.
Oh,
There you go.
There you go.
That's definitely workable.
Jack,
definitely doable.
Jack,
I'm sure that Drew Berkman would be the favorite, but I'm telling you now that Luke will hold his own.
See?
Yeah. Jack has gone a little old school this week, playing with a couple of his friends that are doing Uno. And with his one friend, he was playing Risk.
Nice.
Nice.
I was like, wow, I'm back in 1993.
That's fantastic.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
All right. And the big NFL news this week that we may have a little longer discussion about here. Yeah, the NFL draft, I think, in peril, at least in terms of running on schedule. The news, if I understood it correctly, was that unanimously every single NFL GM said move this thing back, and the NFL at the moment is saying fuck you. I'm almost kind of with Roger Goodell and the NFL on this. I mean, given how bad GMs generally are at drafting players,
yeah.
Can they really argue that they're going to lose out on something by not being able to see these kids in person one more time?
Right, you can't. You're saying a video chat like this isn't good enough to get to know somebody. I mean, if you spend enough time in succession with somebody through video chat, you definitely can get a good feel for them.
I think the NFL is missing if they were to move it, would be missing an opportunity. Let's face it. I mean, the only thing sports fans have to go on right now is NFL news. And why they're not thinking about it that way surprises me. Because potentially, I mean, let's see what happens by the time we would get to the draft anyway. But, just to play this out, we're not going anywhere for another few weeks at least. People are not going to just rush out when we have the opportunity to rush out either. So they're going to have potentially a captive audience with maybe not a lot of other sports going on. And, I think that would be awesome for them, number one. The second thing is national service. NFL, do something for the country. What a great, thing and diversion for people, at that point to have
America's game.
that we can stick our teeth into in sports.
America's game.
Yeah, turn it into some sort of a charity event or some money. Raise some money along the way. I don't know.
I think you're spot on.
An excellent opportunity for the NFL to sort of set a bar at how you could do an event like the NFL draft totally digitally in a way that is compelling. And, I think if they were able to give it a good shot, we'd enjoy it. They'd learn a lot, and maybe, it sets some kind of precedent.
Yeah. And they would get some kudos for doing that, so yeah.
Yeah, no, I think you're spot on. Nothing to add here. Agree.
All right, good. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Hey, I promised a trivia question. We will have a trivia question tonight. It is a SoCo West themed trivia question. I've actually, Berto, believe it or not, continuing to chip away at the archives. I have updated the lifetime records, at least for these three teams, for the purposes of this trivia question. Up to date regular season records for these three teams in the SoCo West. Very competitive division over the lifetime. All three of these teams right around 500. I'll give you their exact records later in the show. Yeah. One of these three teams is under 500 and has therefore the worst lifetime regular season record among these three teams. Which team is that?
Regular season, you said.
Yeah. Lifetime
regular season record.
Yeah. You will be quite amazed at how close all three of these teams are, right around 500. One of them is under 500.
So one answer for how many points?
You got a 1 in 3 shot at this. She's going to be really upset. Let's call it 3
points. It's a 5-pointer, right?
Three
points.
Three is fair.
That's good.
All right, so we'll give you the answer later in the show. Write that down. Think about it.
So,
Hank, in all your turmoil, you might have missed my request. I'll see if we can wing it together. We don't have standings, obviously. We wouldn't have standings, coronavirus or not. It's the off season. But maybe we can just remind people of draft order.
Yeah, I don't have the draft order immediately in front of me.
I can do it.
All right. So I
will pass the mic to the commissioner.
Hang on one sec.
I said we could wing this.
I got that covered.
We got the thorny scroll again.
We got all kinds of time.
Leave it to the commish. Hang on.
And Phil, you can see this in your email. Maybe you could set this up as a scroll.
Oh, it's already in progress, my friend.
Dick asked about it, and I think I replied to you in seconds. There it is. All right. So the draft order, starting with the number 1 pick, would be the Senators, followed by the Boba Fetts, followed by the Mongols, Dirt Devils at 4, Jack Giant Killers at 5, the Hams at 6, K-Wheels at 7, Aliens at 8, Lizards at 9, Ampac at 10, Beavers, Sponge with the last pick.
Now, that's the basic fundamental draft order. In the first round itself,
Yes.
the Senators have the number 9 pick from the Lizards. The Hams have the number 10 pick from the Amsterdam Packers. And the Hams have the number 12 pick from the Sponge Fishermen.
Right.
And we'll talk a lot. That's those, all 3 of those picks that have been acquired as bonus picks going to the SoCo West. Senators, Hams.
Fascinating.
Yep.
Fascinating. Right. Thus far, I got to say I'm pleased with my trade and how it's going to turn out. So far, we'll see what that pick turns out to be.
Hey, Rich, our commissioner, let me turn it over to you for a moment. Commissioner's Corner.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Stick. Terms of commissioner news, not a ton to report. Everyone's aware that we did lock in our draft, and hopefully we will all be able to be in person at our draft in 100% attendance, healthy and happy come September. I'm really hoping that will stay the course. If not, we did get our insurance, and we can always deal with that as it comes. But let's hope it doesn't come to that. We know we are able, no matter what, to deal with adversity and change and adapt and adjust as we did last year. So we'll see if just like the NFL, we might have to do the same, but we'll see. Other than that, the rules are coming along really well. I got to commend Chief actually doing a really great job with the taking what we started a discussion on with the FAIR proposals last year and putting something very clear and concise together for the league to consider this year. So I'm excited about that coming out. And then I'm making a plea to everyone again, I said it on the last webcast, please do send any ideas that you have for rules and rules changes based on the NFL changes, other things we've discussed here. Always willing to adapt and see if there's things that really make sense for us to make changes on or improve from last year. So get those in. Thorny's in charge. He'll be communicating. We've communicated, and looking forward to hopefully seeing that draft take place on time. That's it. Commissioner out.
2 things.
Oh, last thing. I'm sticking with the same bourbon this week.
Okay.
It's the Woodfords. We're using that all week.
It's only been 2 days.
With that bourbon of the week.
That's right. Lemon lime seltzer tonight.
Good job. That's it. Commissioner out.
Yeah. All right. Hey, 2 things, Rich. So we're locked in for the draft. I think I saw something from Berto. Are we ready to pay you for that, Berto?
No, I think we can just wait until we can wait a little bit. That's fine.
Okay. And Rich, I'm going to put you on the spot here, as I do occasionally.
Yeah.
Holding our commissioner accountable. I went looking for an essential document prior to this webcast, and the last one I could find came from Terry Rogers.
That would be correct. Terry Rogers sent out the last essential document, and there has not been any need to make a update thus far since he last said that.
Fair point. All right. Terry would have just sent one out anyway. But
Did he send one out before every webcast?
But if for whatever reason, if there have been no transactions, there technically is not a need for it.
The last one that Terry sent is the valid one.
All right.
I will likely, if you'd like to receive it before webcast, I'm certainly happy to do
Yeah,
that.
might be helpful.
If that's what you would prefer. But right now, there's no action. There's nothing to report. It's all the same from when he last sent it.
Might I interject? As part of the Berkman reign of commissionership here, perhaps you engage your co-owner to help establish a Google Docs or online version of the rule book that we can all access from anywhere at a URL, and then we don't have to worry about saving it or having the most recent. See what you can do.
Both.
And Stick's working on the archives, so an updated version of the archives. I love it.
I want a database. I want a powerful database where we can just search out trivia questions at will. But yeah, Google Doc.
You want to use Watson, my man.
That's exact. Thank you. But yeah, Google Doc for the essential document and for the rule book. That just seems easy enough. Sure.
Don't we have a tech guy right here? Isn't that part of the tech guy's job?
I think we maybe overstated
his the wrong way there. From where I am, he's in that corner.
That's right. He's ignoring you, I think.
Tech guy.
What do you want from me?
The tech guy is asking for like technology.
I think Phil's official technology.
I have a very limited technology role in this entire operation, and I try to handle that as deftly as possible. Not always clean, but we get the job done. Gotcha. Beyond that, I default to you guys.
I think
very good.
I think Watson probably is more what we're looking for here.
All right.
Okay.
I'm on it. I've taken the notes. I'm dead serious too. I've taken those notes.
Nice.
And we'll see. We'll see what we can do there.
All right, so let's have our roundtable chat. We have one big topic to talk about tonight, and that's the SoCo West. Chief, we're starting here because Chief and the Sponge Fishermen are our Pact Bowl title holders right now. Congratulations to Chief. We saw the Pact Bowl here a couple nights ago. Let's break this down team by team. I've done a fair amount of looking through the rosters, through the essential document to see where teams are strong in the draft. But I don't want to sit here and do all the talking. Who's most prepared among our panel tonight?
I can tell you the two questions that I have. I have two questions right out of the gate.
Yeah, go for it.
Which is, the Hams keep Antonio Brown? Would be one question, and the other one is around where was the other one? One was Antonio Brown, and the other was Kareem Hunt. Although I think he has to keep Hunt on the Senators because I don't see a lot more at running back for him unless he keeps Hill out of Atlanta or Gus Edwards out of Baltimore. Unless I'm missing something on there, which I could be.
All right. Well, let's start with Antonio Brown. I don't have him as a keeper on the Hams. I don't think you can keep him until Brown ends up on a team and actually is free of a possible suspension from the NFL. I just don't think he's a keeper at this point for the Hams. Not even close.
Fair enough.
Any disagreement there? And I think he's got enough young wide receivers. He doesn't. He's not scrambling to fill his roster right now with somebody like Brown.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, he's got Robbie Anderson, and then what? James Washington.
I've got his keeper receivers right now is Tyler Boyd, Michael Gallup, and Mike Williams.
No Robbie Anderson who just signed a $20 million gig.
Maybe.
You might have to gamble on him. He's got to have a role now. That's big money. I
might pick him over Boyd or Gallup.
Possibly. That just happened a day ago. I have not contemplated this too deeply at this point.
I think I would have taken him over Gallup or Boyd anyway, whether he signed it today or not. I think Robbie Anderson's a better player.
All of which adds up to Antonio Brown probably not even a thought right now for the Hams.
I don't think so.
Fair enough. He's done in the NFL, you think?
I never rule anything
I
out
don't
of the NFL.
No.
The rock star of the XFL.
I think he'll probably get a shot at some point again. I think, but
Yeah. Next. Yeah. I don't want him.
All right.
So Kareem,
you know, just looking at the Hams running backs for a second
So let's
here.
stick with the Hams, then we'll get over to the
all
Seven.
right, fair enough. Lots to talk about with the Hams. Go ahead, Berto.
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I mean, the running backs.
Michelle.
We still got some holes, but maybe he gets a little bit of relief. If David Johnson can do something, I don't know. It's Sony Michel, Tevin Coleman being healthy. He's got some holes there, but I mean, hopefully, the David Johnson thing has got to be he's got to get something there.
Yeah,
If he does, that
running backs, right, in San Fran.
Hey, you look around the TFFL, and I think a running back trio of David Johnson, Sony Michel, and Damian Williams puts him easily in the top half of the NFL in terms of a keeper running back core.
Yeah.
You, huh?
And you didn't mention Tevin Coleman. I mean, he's got four good running backs.
Coleman's one of 5 running backs on San Fran.
Right. I don't have Coleman as a keeper right now, given San Fran.
All right.
Yeah. But Coleman's there in the mix.
You're right. Yeah. I don't know. They can all be very good, and they have been very good at times, and all of them actually can get in the end zone, which is important.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not get a ton of yards beside David Johnson, but I don't know. It could be I could be the third best running back core, or it could be the 11th.
Right. I think I'm with you.
There's a wide gap. There's a wide gap here of how good or bad these guys can be, in my opinion.
The margin of error is large.
Yes, thank you. That's
I
what I was looking for.
I think my comment speaks more to the state of running backs in the NFL, and by extension, running back cores in the TFFL. That's probably a topic we can explore league-wide at some point. But there just aren't a lot of TFFL teams with 3 decent running backs that they're going to carry into 2020.
Okay.
But yeah, I think unless David Johnson really returns as a stud, I totally agree with you guys. It's a relatively low upside running back core at this point, and could very easily slip fairly low in the rankings.
Yeah, and I guess maybe that's how I was looking at it. You're looking at the best case scenario for these guys. Yeah, it's good. But I don't know.
Really need David Johnson.
That's the downside.
I think he would need David Johnson to show up big. I don't know that he has it, and I don't know he's going to get the opportunity. I mean, you got a running quarterback who runs in touchdowns. I'm just not that confident in their running offense. I mean, Miller was doing okay, I guess, beforehand, but yeah, he's got a lot to prove after coming off the injury too.
Yeah. I'm not sold on him, but what you have to like about all 3 of those guys is they're on strong NFL teams. David Johnson on Houston.
Yeah,
we'll see about New England without Tom Brady, but you got to figure New England's not going to be a terrible team.
They may pick up the run more.
Right.
That might be the one highlight is that
exactly.
Michel, if they still have confidence in Michel, then you could have a big run game this year over their throwing game.
And Damian Williams on Kansas City. Kansas City's a great offense, obviously, and he's a better running back, I think, than a lot of people give him credit for.
He's definitely the third keeper there in my mind.
To me, the 2 stories with the Hams are just the implosion of that wide receiver core over the last year. Julio Jones gone, Antonio Brown gone, traded away Sammy Watkins to me for what that's worth. And I feel like there's a 4th guy I'm totally missing that he traded away as well. And so he's left with all these young guys who've got some upside, but
they're all mediocre though.
Yeah, that stud receiving core that he had is just gone in a hurry.
I don't think any
I
of
think
them.
the other guy you're thinking of maybe is Antonio Brown, who he still has, but he's not the stud he was.
He won't be a keeper, presumably. Yeah,
No.
he's gone.
I don't think any of them on that team break the top 10 in wide receivers.
No. The other story with the Hams, the upside here is 3 first-round picks.
Yeah.
Well, that's impressive.
3 first-round picks, and again, it's number 6, number 10, and number 12.
Yeah. So I mean, the Hams are they're not going to go into the draft with 3 number 1 picks. It just won't happen. One of them is going to be one or two is going to be traded away, and they have the tools to restock the cupboard a little bit here. And they're gonna have 7 quality keepers when it's all said and done due to that draft capital.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they'll definitely.
Yeah, I agree with Berto.
The essential document will change before the draft.
All right, so
There may be some movement.
So we have 2 other teams to talk about: the Senators and the Sponge Fishermen. We can focus a little more on them. Both teams in the same boat. Hank, you brought this up on the last webcast, so let me turn to you. Both of these teams are going to be looking for a quarterback in the offseason here. There are some very good quarterbacks who are, I think, going to be available in trade. I'll put you on the spot here with a question. Which of those 2 teams, if not both of them, are most likely to go out and make a big trade for a quarterback to carry into the 2020 season as a keeper?
I mean, the obvious answer whenever it comes to trading is Kramer, who will make some kind of, offer for something that will, eventually maybe turn into something reasonable. Who knows? But the Aliens are a team that might have a quarterback to trade. The Fats may, probably not. They're, and they may need a quarterback. The Fats may be another team who wants one.
We talked about the Devils last week, or 2 days ago. Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray. You're right. The Aliens with Drew Brees and Carson Wentz.
So So was the question between the Hams? Between the Sens and the Sponge? Who's more likely to pick up a quarterback?
Yeah, who's going to strike first and go out and get the guy they really want and make a big offer for him?
I'm going to say the Sponge, and the reason why is because I think the Sponge know that they got a good rest of the roster, and if they can lock up the quarterback position, assuming Winston doesn't go, if he goes somewhere where he's the starter or whatever, and he gets the opportunity to put up points, that may change things. But I don't see where he would go right now, where Winston would be a guy who's going to put up the numbers he did in Tampa Bay last year. So I think Chief will realize that shouldn't be an option. Again, maybe there's something I'm not thinking about that he could go where he could put up some numbers. But so that's why how his roster is set up, he's got less holes to fill, and he can immediately try and go for that quarterback position because he's got a deep rest of the team for, and have another chance for a deep run in the playoffs, another Pac Bowl.
Here's the issue with that, though, and it's part of the analysis of the Sponge, is they don't have a first or a third rounder. They don't have the draft capital to necessarily go make a big splash.
I think he keeps Brissett. I think he's good. I think the Sponge keep Brissett. He's good. The new quarterback of the Carolina Panthers, right? Am I missing something?
No.
No, that's Indianapolis. Sorry, Indianapolis. I'm confusing.
Colts. Rivers is in Indianapolis.
My bad.
Where's Brissett?
Daniel Jones, I think, is really the only keeper quarterback option for the Sponge right now, unless Jameis Winston somehow falls into something.
If Winston ends up in the Chargers, that could be a play.
And I can't possibly see a Pac Bowl winning team keep Daniel Jones. It's not going to happen. He's going to want to go to war with somebody who he can win, who's at least, a top 12, top 10 guy locked versus, going in with Jones. but going back to your point, Stick, about the Sponge not having the draft capital, true, but I don't know if you don't need the same draft capital to get a good quarterback as you do the draft capital to get a good running back. So
There is.
okay, he doesn't have a first and a third, but he could do a draft pick in the 2021 draft. He could do something else that's creative, or potentially, there's excess talent on his team. Package that with a draft pick. I think he could get something done. He's not going to get Mahomes or a top the top guy, but he'll get a top 10 guy.
Hank?
Maybe. He's not keeping Daniel Jones, or I don't think any of the quarterbacks on
He's
his
not
roster.
keeping a quarterback. How would I look at that?
No. So he's going to probably be looking for one, and maybe he does look to make some kind of trade. Maybe he looks to do something larger where he actually gets a draft pick back in some kind of deal. Who knows? Chiefs, he's been doing well. This is why he may have draft issues, because he's been very successful the last couple of years.
Mm-hmm. And he's made some very good trades over the last couple of years. So if he's got to make a trade to bring in his quarterback, don't be surprised if he doesn't make a trade for a quarterback and brings in 7 strong running backs and receivers.
Right.
And
that's where my head was for him, that he will just wait until the 5th round and grab a quarterback that he likes, and then he'll grab another one,
2 or 3
or whatever.
Yeah,
and feel good about that.
I get the sense that Chief likes to have he likes to have the quarterback in his roster. He doesn't like to roll those dice. I mean, you don't like to roll the dice with.
He was forced to roll the dice this year.
right.
Yeah.
Remember, he played 4 different
He won
starting.
the Pac Bowl.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah, that's true
He might
too.
be feeling like, I lit it up last year playing the rotation. I'll just stream my quarterback again.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
He's the case study for the question of, do you really need a franchise quarterback, or do you play the hot hand in a given week if you have 4 different guys you can toss in, which he did to perfection last year.
Yeah, look, that's not always easy. It's not always easy to carry 4 quarterbacks on your team unless you have depth in other places and these guys start showing up. And I mean, look, you tell me you're going to win a Pac Bowl with Jones, Breida, and Montgomery, and I'm not necessarily saying, that's a Pac Bowl running back squad.
Yeah, there's different ways to skin a cat. There's you can win with Ryan Fitzpatrick or Jameis Winston, or you can win with Patrick Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers.
And look, in this case, the streaming quarterback, he was rolling the dice and getting 40 points out of Winston in a game.
Right. Now, on the flip side, I think the Senators, I think Kramer actually is a guy that does want to have a strong quarterback locked in at the top of his lineup. He had Brady for many. We roasted Kramer a little bit last year for making a bold decision prior to last year to suddenly dump Brady, trade for Cam Newton. And that has obviously blown up on him. He, right now does not really have a quarterback heading into the season. He's actually got the draft capital. He's got the number 1 overall pick. He's got another number 1 pick. He's got 3 third-round picks. Kramer's the guy I'm expecting to do something at the quarterback spot.
Yeah,
he needs to. Kramer's roster is atrocious. I want to be on record of this. His roster is awful. He has an unkeepable quarterback. He's got Kamara, excellent.
Kamara and Hopkins.
He's got Hopkins and Hilton.
That's his team right there.
Hunter Henry is the 4th best player on his team. I mean,
Kramer,
his roster is a disaster.
Yeah, he may have went a little overboard, dumping everything off the side of the ship at the end of last season, but I don't know.
Well, right now, his keepers would be Hunt, Kamara, Hopkins, Hilton, Schuster, Henry, and then somebody else. Gus Edwards, maybe.
Kerryon Johnson, did you get him?
Oh, Kerryon Johnson.
Kerryon Johnson.
That's who I missed. Kerryon. That's his 7th.
I'm going to disagree with you guys. I mean, obviously he needs a quarterback, and I think he's got the ammunition to go get one. He's got Kamara, a stud running back. He's got Kerryon Johnson, and we can debate how good he might really be, but he's at least got some upside.
Sure.
Kareem Hunt, I'm not the biggest fan of, but as your number 3 guy, again, you look around the league, that's not
a keeper.
Hunter
Not
Henry,
a keeper.
Hunter Henry then maybe is the keeper at that spot. His receivers are DeAndre Hopkins, a stud.
Yeah, I love that.
T.Y. Hilton's going to be catching passes from Phillip Rivers.
Yeah.
Juju Smith-Schuster hopefully is catching passes from Ben Roethlisberger this year.
Yeah.
And Marquise Brown, again, maybe not quite a keeper, but a guy with a lot of upside.
Well, I would keep Hunt over Marquise Brown.
Okay.
I don't know about you. I mean, it's just running back value. He may not be a keeper, Phil, but that might be better than Marquise Brown.
You just got a soft spot for Kareem Hunt.
No, I don't. I have no soft spot for Kareem Hunt whatsoever.
I think that roster looks a lot better if there's a stud quarterback at the top of that, which Kramer can I think make a trade for this offseason.
Yeah.
Maybe he will. He's always up. Any trades? He's in.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at a couple things though. I mean, you mentioned Hunter Henry.
I'm not yet. I have Kareem Hunt as the keeper over Hunter Henry. I have Marquise Brown as a keeper over Hunter Henry.
Okay. And Kamara, I'd certainly want him on my team, but man, he's got to have a bounce back year.
Yeah, that's what ruined him last year was that Kamara didn't have the year that I think he really hoped he'd have.
Kamara was not getting in the end zone. I mean, he had a couple touchdowns. He had 2 touchdowns week 16 and week 17, but it was pretty barren before that. And he was hurt a couple weeks.
Yeah.
So he has got to bounce back. I do think Mixon, he gets in the end zone. He's a good running back. He's going to miss him.
Not Mixon anymore.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm saying not having him. That's going to hurt.
Oh, not having it. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's the roster got a lot worse from the beginning of last season to the end of this year, including the trades. And he's got to get that number 1 overall pick. He's got some drafts, but that number 1 overall pick, he can't miss on that one this year.
No. But that's a good. He's gonna add some young talent in the draft this year. Hopefully, he's going to use some of those picks in advance to get a good quarterback. I think this roster will be a good roster heading into the season.
He's done a lot on Kerryon Johnson and Kareem Hunt, though, and that's that's a little suspect, And like you just said, Kamara, maybe we've already seen the best of what he can be. Hopkins is awesome. T.Y. Hilton, great. Marquise Brown's exciting. He's got work to do. Good luck, Kramer.
All right, so let's put an exclamation point on this. Let's put the bottom line on it. Who is your pick to win the SoCo West at this point? Obviously, lots still to happen before we even get to the start of the season. But based on what we've talked about tonight, what you can see in the projected keeper lists, what we know about draft ammunition, who's your favorite right now in this division?
Sponge.
We haven't even talked.
No question. No, the Sponge are clearly the class of this division, and the Hams are going to be scrappy and try and get there, and the Senators are picking number 1 overall for a reason.
You never know. Yeah.
I'm going to pick the Hams again. I always tend to answer the Hams. Patrick Mahomes is at the top of that lineup. 3 first-round picks. He will use those and make his keeper list better. And as long as Mahomes is there and he's got other talent, I like the Hams as my favorite.
They're a dangerous team. Hams are going to be good.
All right, guys. Again, hope everybody out there is doing well. Appreciate seeing everybody. We'll keep doing this as often as we can. We're not going to do a webcast tomorrow night, but we are going to play poker. If you have any questions, talk to Berto. Some of us did this the other night with Berto and some of his other buddies. It went great. And it'll be good to see everybody. We can either do that conference call, Berto. Can we Well, no, we'll have too many people to do this.
Well, I'll put up the yeah, I have the Microsoft Teams, so you can do the video into that.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll see how that goes.
So is the app on my phone or is the app on my computer?
You can get it on your iPad or your phone.
I have it on my iPad.
I did it on my iPad. Yeah.
That's on an iPad. All right.
Yeah, I don't know if there's. Yeah, I don't know if you can do it on a computer, but I would say not.
You got a phone for sure.
I don't think you can. I think I would first try to do that.
Okay.
I actually, what I did is I set up your Microsoft Teams thing on my desktop computer, and I had the app, the poker game on my iPad.
Okay.
Very good. Very good. So before we go, I just want to point out, I think the sponge keepers are Montgomery, Breida, and Jones, Adams, Jones, Thielen, and OJ Howard. No quarterback.
Okay. I don't. OJ Howard is the only one I might question with Edelman, who I know he really likes.
Yeah, that.
So I think he might keep Julian Edelman.
Brady was out. He doesn't know what's going on. Edelman's old. That OJ with a new Tom Brady there, maybe he likes that.
I think Chief likes Julian Edelman.
I think again, and we'll talk a lot more. I think about the state of running backs across the league, but I think if you can see a lot of upside in OJ Howard as a tight end catching passes from Tom Brady, and I think that's easy to see.
Yeah,
he's potentially a keeper there as his number 3 or 4 running back.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But Howard was a massive bust in 2019. I think that's going to be a tough sell for Chief. But you can make the argument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You make the argument that Ronald Jones will be better because of Brady too.
Yeah. To me, the guy I really worry about with Chief is Matt Breida. Again, that San Francisco running back core is just such a mess.
Didn't they just use like the transition tag on him or something?
Maybe I think what I saw is they're bringing back McKinnon for what McKinnon's been
restructured his contract, and I think they transition tagged Breida. They have like 5 running backs.
Is Mostert still there, or did Mostert sign?
Still there.
Yeah.
They put a second-round tender on Breida.
Yeah.
Second-round tender. So if anybody makes him an offer, they get a second-round pick.
Mostert looked really good in the back half of the year of the playoffs. He had. I'm just looking here. He had touchdowns every week from week 12 through week 17, at least 1 touchdown. And then he had, playoff, huge game, right? So.
And my recollection is Tevin Coleman had a couple big games sprinkled in there too when he was healthy, and that's kind of the problem there is, week to week, even series to series. You're just probably Mostert was the one guy who you could ride as a stud and figure he was going to get 20 carries and have multi-touchdown games, and he did that for a great stretch there.
Even Wilson stole a few touchdowns.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a tough.
He scored a lot, though.
Breida, and I like Breida. The guy, he's a remarkable story and a very fun running back to watch. He's not going to score a lot of touchdowns, no matter how many touches he gets. That's not going to be his role. Wilson, that's a good point. Wilson was stealing touchdowns at the goal line. Mostert's obviously a guy that's going to score touchdowns. Breida's upside is 80 yards and maybe a touchdown every 5 games.
He's not keeping Breida.
I don't think so.
Really?
No. He's keeping Jones and Montgomery.
Yeah.
He's going to keep
Williams,
OJ Howard for sure.
Probably OJ Howard.
Adams, Jones, Thielen, and Julian Edelman.
Yeah,
that's what I got.
4 receivers. Yeah, that's what I had
at the moment. Yeah, and again, he needs a quarterback. He could also arguably upgrade somewhere else. He just doesn't have a lot of draft picks to help him do that.
Yeah, unless Winston signs somewhere and he likes that.
I like.
But he also proved he just won a Pac Bowl playing the hot hand. So I mean, I'm not sure he's necessarily against that either, unless a good quarterback happens to come to him. I don't think he's going to mortgage a lot to get a quarterback right now.
I don't either.
No, again, I think Kramer's the one to watch there.
There'll be a team out there with two good ones that instead of getting nothing, maybe he'll be able to throw a fifth round pick at somebody to pick up. I don't know who it'd be.
Drew Brees.
Kyler Murray from Nick.
I think the price tag.
How about Kyler Murray?
I think the price tag's higher on Murray. I suspect. And
why is Nick going to keep two quarterbacks?
There are teams outside this division that we're talking about that are going to need quarterbacks.
Okay.
That the market is greater than just these two teams.
Yes, it is.
This is true.
All right. Fair enough. I digress. Let's stay in the division.
All right. So, hey, we're wrapping up. But again, good to see you guys. I hope we do have some people watching us, and it's good for them to see us. This is a weird time, but I think we're staying sane. Again, I'm losing track of the days sometimes, but looking forward to playing poker with everybody tomorrow night. I hope everybody who's watching us again gets in touch with Berto, figures out the app. It's really not that hard. And it'll be good to hang out with everybody online for a couple hours tomorrow night. We will, I think, be back maybe Friday night, maybe Saturday night, some point over the next weekend here. Looking at our next division. Phil, did you have one in mind?
Well, we did this. We were just going to go in order. I thought I wanted to do all four of them,
right.
And just get through.
What is the order?
What's next in the order?
All right. Well, we just did the SoCo East, so let's do the SoCo West.
All right. SoCo, and maybe we can drag Nick onto that one then.
All right. So we got Nick and Thorny, Nick and Thorny and TR.
Yeah. We'll try to get one of them on as our guest. I'm going to try to save Thorny for a pre-NFL draft preview. But yeah, we'll try to get Nick on here maybe for that webcast. Nick has a lot to say, hopefully, about who he's keeping at quarterback, how amenable he will be to trading one of those guys. Let's see if we can get him on.
Now we have
Nick. He might have a government report to give us too, and the inside scoop of what the U.S. government's doing these days.
Listen, I have no recollection of what the question was, but I did write something down here.
All right, good. I almost was going to sign off without giving you guys an answer, for crying out loud. What was my question? So I'm looking. So basically, I'll give you the exact lifetime regular season records of these three teams in a moment. They are very close. They're all around 500. Only one of those teams is under 500 lifetime. It is the Hormel Hams.
Whoa! No points.
Really?
Wow.
And let me here's the fascinating thing. So keep in mind the Sponge Fishermen, have not been around for all of our years. So their record.
Very confident it was the Sponge.
The Sponge are 91, 88, and 3. Just 3 games above 500. The Senators, 135 wins, 134 losses, and 4 ties. 1 game above 500 in their entire TFFL lifetime. And they are just 1 game ahead of the Hormel Hams, 134 wins, 135 losses, and 4 ties. Just a game under 500, the Hormel Hams are.
I am shocked.
That is something.
So there's,
question, Stick. That was a great question.
That was a good question. No points.
But no blood.
Stumped us off.
No points.
So, Phil, I think you had somebody out of the division as your answer.
I didn't even get the wrong division. I just guessed the Killers because I didn't even know what the heck I'm guessing. I'm just thinking something bad. It's Killers.
Yeah, it was about the So West. It was between them. All right.
You know what's pathetic? I couldn't remember the question either, so we put up Killers. I'm like, maybe that's
the latest TFFL webcast start ever. So here we are. It's okay.
I had forgotten I asked the question. I was ready to sign off.
I had no idea what the question was, so I just wrote down the Killers.
I totally forgot what the question was.
And this is what happens when we do multiple webcasts in a week.
All right. Well,
Do it again. We're doing it again Friday, right?
yeah, we're doing poker tomorrow night. We'll be back here maybe Friday or whenever you guys can do it. We're not going anywhere.
What the hell else are you gonna do? We're
Yeah.
inside for like a year now, at least.
Get used to it.
Yeah. All right,
Guys,
sign us off, Dick.
take care, everybody out there. We'll see you tomorrow night for poker.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers.